And the green flag is waved, and now it is time for 2 formation laps for the final race of the second round of the 2018 Rotax Max Euro Trophy season here in Kristianstad in Sweden. Let's run you through the starting order, shall we? On pole position, it's the flying Finn of Ville Villainen. Alongside him will be Martin Henkel Mortens. Then it's Max Fleischmann and Piotr Wisnicki on row 2. Nikolaj Steen and Jan Malecek on row 3. Emil Antonsson and Alex Dahlberg on row 4. Rupe Markkanen and Konstantin Schöll on row 5. Lasse Andreasen and Sivert Moiland on row 6. Christoph Adams and Andreas Fors on row 7. Dionysius Liveris, who was in the wars earlier on this morning, is alongside William van der Kaj from the Netherlands on row 8. Then it's Patrick Weinstock, Matthias Dahl, Manuel Tenschert, Matthias Lund, Michael Becker, Fredrik Fransson, Daniel Mahacek, Slavomir Moransky, Johan Andersson, Euripides Hatzistefanis, Thomas Piert, Zendaru, who came together with Hatzistefanis and is starting from penultimately on 28th position, so watch for the 435 to charge through the field. But then we also have Marius Sori Paulsen rounding out the 29 strong. Now it's time for the formation lap. Now it's time for the drivers to get into the zone for the final time of the weekend and to get ready to go into battle. So drivers are now trying to get some temperature into these tyres. Obviously the tyres were standing for quite a bit of time on the grid, obviously put onto the carts. They have to get them up to temperature. So now Villainen and Henkel Mortens now control the pace at the front of the field. The field does need to get into formation pretty quickly, as the race director is saying slow down and get into formation. And I'm not sure if this is going to be, I think this might be declared a full start, not too sure. I think that's going to be, that's not really going to happen. They need to get in there quickly, and the 446 of Paulsen is there or thereabouts. They come into the tram lines for the final time of asking 14 minutes plus 1 additional lap. We go racing for the final time here in Sweden, and it's a near clash between the 2 on the front row. Villainen gets into lead initially in front of Henkel Mortens, and it's 2 wide again, a little bit further down the order, probably about midway in the top 10. Going through turn number 2, but they made it through. It's 3 abreast of the back part of the field. We've got somebody already off into the dirt in turn 3. So 1 casualty already out of 29. Drivers getting out of the cart already and just walking away from the scene of the accident. And if we didn't have enough drama this weekend, we've just had it again here in the DD2s. And we saw that in the first final. But now it is game on between Villainen leading from Henkel Mortens, who was trying to force it up the inside. Meanwhile, Dahlberg is getting very, very aggressive. And I think he's already up. He's up into 5th. From 9th already is the Swede. And he has battled against Henkel Mortens earlier on this weekend and took the win as Henkel Mortens goes up the inside of Villainen, up the inside into turn 3 and retakes the lead. So great job by the current championship leader. As we've got more battling, and oh my goodness, where is Dahlberg coming from? He's coming from another country, I think, because he's just gone up into 3rd place. My goodness. The Swede is on the march, and he's not giving up without a fight. And it looks like we've also got the 432 of Nikolaj Steen in the top four. Max Fleischmann loses out in 5th position, now down into 6th. So Henkel Mortens leads from Villainen, Dahlberg, Steen, Wisnicki gets past the German Markkanen, Scholl, Malecek, and Antonsson ran out the top 10 in what is an incredibly competitive, but I have to say, apart from the contretemps earlier on at turn number 3 with the cart off the racing line now, and that looks to be, I've got a feeling, I'm just looking to see whether I can spot where it looks like it might be Moransky or Dionysius Liveris. So Henkel Mortens leads. Villainen has got Dahlberg for company. And the Swede has gone up the inside into second. Round the final corner comes the 4:16. And I think he's just said to Vililainen, let's get after the leader, shall we? And I'm sure that the Finn will definitely respond in kind. But could he have an ulterior motive? As I saw the 584 of Tenshirt going 3 wide with Weinstock and De Roo going into turn 1. But he had to back out of it. So, leader in the DD2s, it's Henkel Mortens. Leader in the DD2 Masters, it is Christoph Adams in the treble 5 with Moransky now not having any chance to get back any points in this second final. But look at the top 4. You can't... Oh my goodness, Henkel Mortens has lost out to the leader. He's lost the lead. Dahlberg takes the lead back from the 4:24, a repeat of what we saw yesterday in the qualifying heat. So Alex Dahlberg now leads the last final of the day, ahead of Martin Henkel Mortens. Nikolai Steen past Vililainen up into 3rd place. Fleischmann 5th, Wisnicki 6th, Markkanen, Antonsson, Scholl and Andreasen ran out the top 10. The top 15 is completed by Malacek, Adams, Moyland, Force and Mahacek as well. So what a turn up for the books, because from 8th on the grid, Sweden's very own Alex Dahlberg is now leading the race. But fastest lap at the moment is going to the number 432 of Nikolai Steen, who has definitely got the bit between his teeth. I tell you that much, because it looks like Henkel Mortens is not going to have it easy in this second final. The perfect season for the 424 has gone asunder, but hopefully not his championship lead, because Nikolai Steen is a new entry for this weekend, as I've just seen the 409 of Antonsson just go up the inside into turn 1 of Scholl for 7th position. So nice work by the 409, now up into 7th, and hopefully going to make another stride or 2 forward. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, it is still Dahlberg from Henkel Mortens, from Steen. Vililainen in 4th. Fleischmann from Germany rounds out the top 5. Then behind you've got Markkanen, Scholl, Antonsson and Andreasen. That's from 6th to 9th position, as Piotr Wisnicki now rounds out the top 10. And Dahlberg's now extending a lead over Henkel Mortens as they come round the final corner. Now it's time to apply the throttle and go down this incredibly long back straight. And I think Nikolai Steen has closed. He's closed dramatically on the back bumper of Henkel Mortens. Their line of stern going through turn 2. What's going to happen into turn 3? Steen decides, not quite yet. I've got more chances around this lap as they go over the hump towards turn number 4. Now it's down the short blast to turn number 5, and Steen goes up the inside of Henkel Mortens to take second. It's side by side. Henkel Mortens goes on the switchback offensive. Now it's the turn of Steen trying to think of going up the inside into turn 6. Didn't have a big enough gap to do it. Now through into turn 7 and 8. Now into 9. Now it's round the final corner, as Alex Dahlberg's lead, I think, is going to be extended from 0.6 of a second. Maybe by another 10th at the very least. Goes up to nearly over 0.3. So the Swede is definitely getting quicker and quicker. Now he's got clear line of sight. He's now going to put in the quick laps, and he's just taken the fastest lap of the race, a 52.956 from the 4:16. 7 minutes 30 seconds plus an additional lap to go. So Force gets past Malacek a little bit further down the order, and that is for 12th position. So Dahlberg continues to lead. We need to concentrate on the battle between Steen and Henkel Mortens. Steen is in 3rd. Henkel Mortens just fractionally ahead as they come towards the penultimate corner on this track. So Dahlberg continues to dominate proceedings here in the second final for the DD2. The DD2 Masters, he's taken another 0.2. And, oh, well, we've just had our first time penalty of the final. And that is Dahl in the 4:03 and has left the track. So exceeded track limits. So 3-second time penalty for Dahl in the 4:03. Meanwhile, if we just have a look at Henkel Mortens and Steen, look how much closer not just Villalainen is getting, but Max Fleischmann. Now, Fleischmann and Villalainen on the last lap around actually set the identical same time. But Dahlberg was quickest, Steen was quickest out of the four of them. So Henkel Mortens goes and takes the fastest lap of the race. There's the 4:24.52.578. So the gap between him and Steen is about half a second. Then it is a further 0.6 to Villalainen, with Fleischmann a further 1.2 off there as well. So we still have over 5.5 minutes to go here in Sweden to conclude our racing action for the second round of the 2018 Rotax Max Euro Trophy season, with Alex Dahlberg from Sweden leading on home soil. And looks like we've had another time penalty being awarded as well. William van der Kaj in the 4:10 was given a 5-second time penalty for contact, so might have got an advantage on it. Dahlberg continues to lead. Henkel Mortens in second. Gap between the pair 1.096. And in the process, Dahlberg has set the fastest lap of the race. We're now on to lap number 11 here in Sweden. Steen is still in third, 0.6 of a second ahead of Villalainen. Then it's a further 1.2 adrift to Max Fleischmann from Germany, who's currently in 5th place. Antonsen, Markkanen, Scholl, Andreasen and Wisnicki ran out the top 10. The leading DD2 Masters driver is Christoph Adams from Belgium, who's actually 12th overall in this race. So the 555 doing a really, really good job, and I definitely know for a fact, just by his performances this weekend, with Moranski's unfortunate bad luck, has meant that the Polish driver will not be at the top of the standings come the conclusion of this race weekend. So the Belgian will take the head of the field. So 3 minutes 53 seconds plus an additional lap still to go. Now, having started from 28th position with the incident that took his broke the front axle on his car, Zenderu in the 435 is now up into 16th, having started 28th. Moyland now gets past Malacek for 13th position. Dahl is now up into 18th. Tenshut up into 21st. And the leaders have come across the stripe. I've just seen Scholl in the 401 behind Markkanen. So Scholl in the 401 currently running 8th at the minute. And just keeping an eye on some lap times here at the moment. And best lap of the race so far is by Alexander Dahlberg in the 416, who currently leads by 1.169 seconds here in Kristianstad in Sweden. So the Swede doing great guns on home soil. Henkel Mortens, I think, is going to have to say, you know what, it's not about the perfect season anymore. It's now about making sure I have the best possible chance of taking a title this year. So it looks as if he's settling for second, he will go home with a total of 90 points, and which will bridge the gap between himself and I think new second place driver Max, which will be Max. Well, Fleischmann will still be in second, but won't have as much. He'll have more of a gap to chase when we go to Austria in a few weeks' time. So no real changes in the generic order, as everything seems to have slowed slightly. But we still have 2 minutes plus an additional lap to go here in Sweden. So Dahlberg from Sweden continues to lead. Then it is Henkel Mortens, Steen, Villalainen, Fleischmann, Antonsen, Markkanen, Scholl, Andreasen, Wisnicki, Fors, Adams, Moyland, Mahacek and Malacek rounding out the top 15. Gap now extends between first and second to just over 1.2 seconds. Further changes a little bit further down the order. Mahacek has been passed by Malacek for 14th. Hatzistefanis up into 18th. Weinstock 25th. So less than 60 seconds on the clock to go. Looks like the 465 of Markkanen could have his hands full in the dying few seconds of the race. So Dahlberg comes across the line. Henkel Morton second, Steen third, Villelainen fourth, Fleischmann fifth, Antonsen, Markkanen, Scholl, Andresen, Wisnicki, Fors, Adams, Moyland, Malacek, Mahacek. Then you've got Deroux still in 16th, but is not really making any indent onto Mahacek in 15th place. And on the what's probably going to be the penultimate lap of the race, as the time will tick down and expire before Alexander Dahlberg crosses the start-finish line. So, time's expired. It's now going to be one more lap to go for the 4:16 from Sweden. So, Dahlberg leads, Henkel Mortens, Steen, Villelainen, Fleischmann in 5th. And with some of the field a bit further down the order, Mahacek has got past Malacek again for 14th position. But now it is time to focus on the man that is at the front of the field, Sweden's very own Alexander Dahlberg in the 4:16 has taken fastest lap on the penultimate lap of the race, and he just has a couple of corners remaining. And round the final corner comes Alexander Dahlberg from Sweden, 4:16, to take the win on home soil here in Kristianstad. Both hands off the wheel as he crosses the line. Martin Henkel Mortens finishes in a consistent second place to extend his championship lead. Nikolai Steen was third ahead of Villelainen, who started on pole position. Max Fleischmann, now look at this. This is really, really good to see. This is what karting is all about. You got Villelainen, Henkel Mortens, Steen, Dahlberg, all shaking hands and showing great, great sportsmanship after what's been an incredible weekend of action here in Kristianstad. So for the final time, the finishing order for DD2 and DD2 Masters here in Kristianstad is as follows. A well-deserved win for home hero Alexander Dahlberg from Sweden, winning by just over 1.376 seconds from Martin Henkel Mortens. Nikolai Steen was third ahead of Villelainen, with Max Fleischmann from Germany in 5th. Ahead of Emil Antonsen, Rupi Markkanen, Konstantin Scholl, Lasse Andresen, Piotr Wisnicki, Andreas Fors, and the leading DD2 Masters driver, I might add, in 12th, Christoph Adams from Belgium, who I would imagine now overtakes Slavomir Muransky, who did not even finish this race in the DD2 Masters category. Moyland, Mahacek, Malacek, Zenderu was 16th. Then it was Lund, Hatzistefanis, Tenschert, Piat, Becker, Dahl, Andersson, Weinstock, Solly Paulsson, Fransson and Van der Kaj, with both Livres and Moransky not finishing. So, ladies and gentlemen, we conclude our racing action here in Sweden.